All right, here we are for the animated still project where we're going to first work on our breakdown before we can actually bring it into After Effects and start animating. First thing I'm going to do is I've renamed the image original in the Photoshop layer, and I'm going to make 5 copies of this layer. So I'm going to bring it down to this plus layer. 4 and 5. Perfect. And so when I'm looking at this, I'm really thinking of how I can break this down. I can't stress enough that from the top of the layers, it needs to be foreground to background. It's very important that you have it in that order for whenever you bring it into After Effects. It'll all go smoothly. So you can kind of see I'm pointing out like the different areas that I can break down. So I'm going to now get in here and I'm going to start with this first kind of water area because I think some nice movement would be on it. So I'm going to come in and just select it with my selection tool and hit that mask button. It's going to get me in the range, and I, of course, can go back in and post and kind of clean up the mask. So I'm going to go in there and do that. Start erasing. I've sped this up a bit just because it can take some time. So however much time it takes you to do it, don't stress about it. Just get it in there and get it to look nice and how you need it to be. So I'm just also flipping back and forth to make sure those layers are looking good. All right, now I'm going to call this lake, and I'm just going to double click on there to just make that be the lake one. I'm going to move on, and I'm going to focus on this little dock area. So I'm going to come in and I'm going to select it with my selection tool again. If it's selecting too much, I'm just pressing Alt to go back and forth to kind of get everything in that I need to. Even using the lasso tool some, again switching between Control and Alt to just come in and clean it up. And then finally I'm going to come down and I'm going to pop on my mask. Nice. And I'm going to come in and just keep building up this, really looking at the mountain ridge lines when I'm thinking of how this breakdown needs to be. So just coming in, erasing, cleaning up, and making sure it's looking generally good in between, and also making sure I'm naming these things. And then I'm coming in and getting a selection of this mountain here. And I'm just switching back and forth between that and pressing my Alt to subtract. Popping in my mask. And I'm going to name this BG Hills. And you can see I'm going from foreground to background. I can't stress enough that that's what it needs to be. I'm just going to flip in between to kind of make sure. And now I'm going to come in and just select that sky. It's going to be generally good, so I'm just going to pop on that mask and name it sky. Now I'm going to do just a final checkup, making sure the breakdown's how I want it to be. So I got my first foreground and we're just slowly moving back into the scene, and you can kind of see how that breakdown looks. Feel free to slow this video down too to get a better idea of how that looks. And so then I'm coming in and just doing some cleanup. I'm really going to debate where I need this to be. I think the background hills, but I'm seeing it's a little bit lighter. So I think actually it needs to go either in my cabin or my dock area. I think, yeah, I'm going to put it in my cabin area. So I'm just going to come in and just paint that back in this mask with a white paintbrush. And I'm just flipping back and forth to make sure my blend is looking good. And I think it's in about the right range that I can get some pretty cool movement. And then I'm going to come in and just grab the rest of this water. So you can kind of get a feel for how this breakdown works. Of course, use your best judgment when it comes to your image and the parts that you want to be moving and to have that parallax. Try to pick images that have some pretty good like breakdown of the scene whenever you're going through this. So hopefully this is helpful for like future reference in breakdown of your scene. And then we'll go into After Effects after this.